Hey everyone, let's wrap up March. And we start as usual with the videos I uploaded. We had a lot of discussions on my channel this month. We started off talking about self-help book and how I thought it has a stigma on it and that's why people don't read it. And I loved how you responded to that and telling me your experiences with self-help books. But we also discussed the amount of self-help books which are really not good. And I agree with that. There are a lot of badly written, bad help books that just are meant to make the author money, and you don't really want to do that. You want to get something out of the book and not just give someone money. I mean, I don't mind giving someone money for a book that helps me, but if it's just for them to make money and the book is bad, I realized that if I trust recommendations on self-help books that I picked up, that I'm usually quite happy with the writing of the book and at least the content gives me 1 or 2 tips that I can use. So that's my way of going at it. On my birthday, we also discussed presents, and I like how a lot of you look at presents either as really love them or as a cycle of having to give someone presents, getting someone presents, and getting into a cycle where none of you wants to give presents and then you stop and the friendship stops. And I think that's true. We want to give good presents and we want to get good presents, but it's really hard. And then we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And oh my God, I loved your discussions. And thank you all for the birthday wishes. I also talked about how I was getting my happy back and I loved all your comments and the stories you shared. And yeah, I think I'm on the right track and I hope you're on the right track as well. Thank you all for talking and bearing with me on this one. And I also want to thank you for all the nice comments on my letter to March and on my shoes and on the walking and everything. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed reading that. Some of you asked how I know the distance so exact, and I'm using a fitness tracker with GPS, so when I go for a walk, I track the distance. I uploaded 2 more videos. One was a Friday read, which basically still works as a currently reading because I'm still reading the same books that I read then, which brings me to the other fact that I didn't really finish books this month. The only thing that I finished sparked the last video and discussion we had. It was about graphic novels. I finished the first and the second book in the Sandman series, and I discovered that I don't really like graphic novels, so we talked about that, and I really enjoyed how a lot of you like graphic novels or read graphic novels like me, but I also took away something from the discussion we had, that a lot of you said if the art isn't good, you don't like the graphic novel, which had me look at the 3rd volume a little bit differently. And I realized I didn't really like this one. It's one of the shorter ones, and I didn't like the art in this. I didn't care for the stories, and I have to admit I skipped a lot of it. Just flew through it. The 4th volume, I noticed I like the art better again and also am more invested and interested in the story. So I'm still going to finish all the rest of the Sandman series, but I'm not sure about future graphic novels, but I think I have to pay more attention to the art and not as much to the story, which normally makes me buy a book. So thank you all for the discussion around that. Apart from that, I didn't finish any other book. On audio, I didn't finish anything in March. I listened to podcasts, mostly to the Chase Jarvis live show, which were interviews. I talked a lot about that in videos this month, but I also listened to 2 audio plays, which are sci-fi stories, The Message and Life After. And I really enjoyed those 2. If you're interested in sci-fi and you want to get an audio play with a cast of characters and some spooky stories that really make you think about life today and things, I would recommend that. The Message is basically a story about an alien message that people need to decode, but when they listen to it, something happens. And the story is really action-packed and I could listen to it in one go. I think it's 2 hours in total. The second story was Life After, which is a little bit creepier. There is this technology, it's called Voice Tree, where you can leave voice messages. And out of these voice messages, an AI or something, I don't really know what it was to be honest, maybe it was an alien, created the person again after they were dead. So we had people getting addicted to listening to the voice messages of their loved ones after they were gone, and then the story evolves around that, and it's super creepy but super interesting. I can highly recommend it. And that was my book list March. Tell me in comments how your March was and hope April will be nice. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.